All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Hot Tech, the Tech. We do this every Tuesday. We have a lot to dissect this week. We have the UPL resuming this week. We have some transfers. We shall be picking out some players who have made the transfers and the ones that have failed. And also, we also talk about the NBL playoffs that is in the semi-finals, and some teams have already made it to the finals with clean sweeps. We also talk about uh, the Mohamed Shaban transfer, Kakande transfer, Alan Okello. So, Miss Addison, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Emma. To the viewers out there, the listeners, I'm happy to be here once again.
Yeah, so let's start. Let me just read out this FUFA Super 8. AC Villa uh, defeating NEC 2-0. Eventually, some would say the tournament was really it had lost steam because of the UPL format, clubs back and forth. But you also mentioned something to do with that. But let's start with the game.
Because when I was looking at a few analysts who were talking about it, were saying Mbalango's team was the first 11 wasn't the one he was meant to assemble during that game. I think he undermined the team, and the Kenyans came strong. Guess what? We saw a 2-2 draw in that game. But they advised him in the second round, that is in Nairobi, let him assemble the right team, which can win him games, because we saw Mustafa Chiza came off the bench in that game for goals. Also,
Yeah, we had Muchures
took a
also
goal.
came in. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So hope he changes the team
the team. Yeah,
in the second.
yeah.
Yeah,
So also Vipers also had a good start in Cape Town, picking out like full points. Yeah, against Namibian side, and they look to seal the deal when they return to Chitende. That's also an interesting one, but most people would say Vipers has an upper hand. Though, when I was listening to Lawrence Mlindwa's post-match speech to the players, he told them you should not take anything lightly. A team can come here in Chitende and just hit you 4-0, and you're out of the tournament. Uh, then, as we move, we want to talk about the UPL. It is going to start this week. Games are on. Though there's something that really interested me is the Villa fixtures, the NEC fixtures, and also the Vipers fixtures. NEC could be playing. I think NEC could be playing Villa. That one had to be postponed because of the CAF. The situation is the league will continue, but we haven't yet got confirmation from either Vipers, NEC, or Villa regarding whether they will take part in the league. Though we still take that 1 week break of the CAF, and we wait to see in the match day 2. Give me a statement on that and what you're hearing.
and it so happens like when the delegates conference in Ginger and the Villa representative CSA said we're not in support of the new format. He
Mm,
said it categorically.
mm,
So this is going to be a long battle. We don't know whether Villa is going to play the league or not. Don't know whether Bypass is going to play the league or not, because they told them not in support of the format, and that is it. They haven't shared any statement of like, okay, we've accepted the format and we're ready to play the league. All the three teams said the format you're in support of it. So I don't know what's going to happen, what they have for us as the fans or as the stakeholders, what is next with the three teams. What's the way forward? We all don't know, because the categorical said they are not in support of the new format. What shocked me, KCCA recently, KCCA yesterday, we talk about that. Yes, what they did yesterday.
the chairman
The chairman
and Lukwago.
Andrew Shevonjoji. Yeah, Lukwago says they're not in support of the new format. Andrew goes ahead and says, I wish to inform you that as a club, we are going to participate in the new format. It's a decision which has been very painful. However, it will be disaster for us having embraced the new league format to become victims of it.
Mm.
This was said by Andrew George,
The
and they're
chairman.
going to be victims of it. They're going to be victims of it
Who makes the
because this new
decision? Yeah.
format, I'm looking at it, it might backfire.
Because the fans are adamant. The KCCA fans are adamant. We are looking at a KCCA that has not won any trophy. I think in 7 years, and
So,
even the Super 8, something that you'd think they would manage to really kickstart with their week, with their season. You know, they lost to Maroons. Very, that's something that was telling. I was looking at it. It also raised eyebrows on the management, starting from the board of KCCA. And 7 years, and we are starting to see that it was purely Mike Mutebi handling the team. I mean, in terms of the technical aspect of it, and assembling a team that will really last for seasons and win. But now, if you have all these people come in, most of them are not football people. Some are from the authority. They're putting in their intakes. There's something that it really interested me. That was what Andrew Serunjoji said, the KCA chairman. He mentioned that they were witnessing a high turnovers. Coaches were going, players were going, and once you start running a club, because of course KCA is a prestigious team. If you look at it, every player would want to be on that team. Agents would want to bring their players on the team. A family member, club member. Once you have that kind of setup, you'll have you'll have a team that is assembled because of optics, but they are not technically good. The tactics don't match. Even if you bring Senyondo there, Magera there, it will still have the same. It's the same thing that Manchester United is going through. Could we be right to really
when,
relate it to that?
when you look at that, when you look at that team, lately it's so average.
Mm,
Told you when Alpha started 30 minutes of playing time in that team, or at times even starting again, because the team is so average. The players they sign, you'll be like,
mm.
seriously, they signed this player. The Mike Mutebi team is
Yeah.
so different from these teams we are seeing right now. And the Mike Mutebi era, we leave it aside. These coaches are supposed to assemble a good team which can compete in the league. Mm.
Andrew Serenjoji says they have
Because
shopped, they have bought players.
truth be told, you can now say KC is a big title contender. Contenders now you look at NEC, which is new the league, SC Villa, Vipers.
Mm,
Yeah. Bull also among the title contenders. KC comes in as like number five, which
mm,
fits my understanding. The club which was so big, whereby we start the season, you are rest assured of like it's going to be either KC or Vipers or Villa or Express winning the league. But now you can't mention KC in that category because you're struggling a lot. I saw them play against the civil and the Super 8.
mm,
How they were struggling. I'm like,
mm,
are we going to compete? I even asked someone, are we going to compete? First leg, how Villa comfortably won that game
mm,
at our home ground. Second leg at Kadiba.
mm.
We struggled a lot. Even Villa would have
Second leg,
scored.
you could say it was already done. Villa was just
Yeah.
playing to maintain their results and position. Yeah, these are the players. Uh, let me read through. We have the squad. We have Mutualbi Mugolofa number one. Albert Achai returns. Hassan Mahmoud, Said Mayanja, Sharif Sengendo, Brian Jara, Jao Estevez, Cardozo, Gabriel, Sali Alpha, Derek Paul Sivambi, Etienne Openga Katenga. That was a good renewal of a contract. Ivan Mbisiwe, that's the noticeable striker that was brought in. Peter Magambo is still there. Rogers Mugisha is still there. Charles Lukwago has joined. Enoch Walusumbi has joined. Obenchan is still there. Ashraf Mugume, yeah, they have some talent in there. Umaru Lutalo, Kwikriza Shafik, Anyama, Gavin Chizito, Joel Serenjoji, Alex Yiga, Anton Kimara, and James Mowezi. one would say that at least they did not sell Serin Georgie. They have tried to keep their players in there. Shafiq is still there. Mugume is still there. But overall, if you look at the team, look at what Villa is doing. Villa just secured Kakande. A lot of people thought Kakande would be traveling, but Villa has managed to secure Kakande. I mean, that is a statement in itself. Would you really rate Villa as you said it was one of the contenders? I mean, they've managed to keep their players. Same with Vipers. If you look at also Vipers, they've signed, they've renewed contracts. I mean, these are the gentlemen that are not in line with this league. And you look at even what they're doing in the market, the business they're doing, it's quite incredible.
Villa's signings are on point because we saw them play in the Uganda Cup in the Super 8 from the quarterfinals until they reached the finals. Yeah, you would see players are quite different. I'm like they put in a lot of effort.
It's a
Yeah, we
different
saw the
Villa.
finals of the Super 8 how they played against Net.
Mm.
How they played against Net. Everyone was like, wow, this Villa is so different compared to the Villa we were seeing before. And guess what? Kakanda wasn't into the team. Mpande came off the bench.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at two senior players. One who Mpande came off the bench. Kakanda didn't play in a Super 8 game. Yeah,
And they
guess what?
dominated.
They put up a good fight. They dominated.
Yeah.
They
Won
dominated.
comfortably. Yeah.
They're playing against NEC, which was going to play the Confederations qualifiers against Nairobi.
Just won comfortably against NEC. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So anyway, let's also dive into the transfers. There's this transfer that caught my eye. It is just a rumor. Ronnie Santos broke it. Teams are still coming in for Shaban Okello. And if you look at what Shaban Okello has been posting on his social media, he mentioned that is let's do it one more year. I saw when he posted, he was posting a lot of memories at Vipers, and he mentioned that we need to do it one more year. And here you have Almeri coming in with 800,000 USDs, around 3 billion. I mean, Mlindo has held these grounds, but this money is too juicy to turn out. Yeah.
Mourinho is some hard guy sometimes. He's looking at him qualifying for CAF Champions League, and he's like, if I let go of my senior player, my best player last season, how am I going to handle this? He can play for me this season, so that he can leave next season. When I know I've made some good money out of him, and he has delivered for me as well. Because they're looking at qualifying for CAF Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think?
And also the player, and also the player is comfortable at Vipers.
Yeah.
Because we had this thing of like, how is he going to perform? He really showed us that, I'm a performer, and he was player of the league. He won the player of the league of the season actually. Because he was on form, he was on fire, top scorer, player of the season.
Top assists.
He was on fire, he was on form. It says a lot how comfortable he is at Vipers and what he's doing at Vipers now.
And also Vipers, we commend them for really. Most teams would have really let the player go because of the money, but I like the way Vipers has done business, especially on the continental level. Shaking off all these money moves, all that. Simba comes in, Maghreb teams coming in, but he's like, no, I need this player. And also, I wanted to ask you this: make it make sense. Kakande signs, Mpande stays at Villa. You have Afcon coming in December. We have Muhammad Shaban, who has not yet gotten a club, and he was one of the best players in the qualifiers.
He's going back to Goma here. The started players at KCC are done. The started players at KCC, they are done. They wanted to loan someone, but they wouldn't loan him to goal because time was out. So he's going back to Goma here because he hadn't finalized with Goma here, but he had gotten some money from Goma here. So he's going back to Goma here. Remember we had a discussion about these players Pande staying, Kakande staying. They're looking at AFCON. They're like, if I'm to go somewhere else, will I get enough coverage?
Yeah.
Will I be seen? You know, the Matos are in a different
Yeah.
life, man. For him, is delivering,
He's delivering.
and
Yeah.
you know what he can do.
Mm.
Yeah, the Onyangos are delivering,
Mm.
uh,
Mukwala is also
but the
there.
issue is
I
what
mean,
is
the position
delivering
he's
as well.
playing, yeah, yeah. Mukwala is there. Semugabi has also started
As a
his
player,
his season in Jamus.
yeah, as a player, you sit down, you be like, if I'm going to go to this club, am I a bench player or a starter?
Mm.
Why can't I stay? I'm a starter. I'm getting my playing time.
Mm.
I'm a more deliver. On top of that, I have to go for AFCON in December
Mm.
because they need that spot.
Mm.
Let it be on that 25-man team which is going for AFCON.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why Muhammad Shaban was like, you know what? Let me go back to East Africa. I know in Goma here, you
And
get the coverage.
the coverage people can see.
And yes, people can see what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Then also, there's a player that I want you to I paid attention to. Uh, Seri Aregumayo. This player was in Barra City. I remember last season when we were starting, we were covering the beginning of the season. I mean, he had 7 goals with the Muchurezis, with the Mbisiwe. I mean, he was among the top scorers. I feel like Bull has really gotten a steal out of this player. This is a player that people did not really notice. And he was scoring these goals in Barra City. Now with Bull, with the facilitation, with the match winning bonuses, this is a player that we should really keep an eye on. He played he was in Singida. He has some professional experience. He came back and proved it in Barara, scoring in double digits. I mean, Bull has really gotten this striker, and it is a player that I'll really keep an eye on. Seri Arigumayo. Yeah, then I think that's all we had for sports. Let's move into the something that I picked up a story regarding the netball, the She Cranes netball team. They're preparing to play in November and December. I think it is African qualifiers, but also before they embark on these continental features, they had a meeting with the executive, that is the Uganda Netball Federation, uh, and there's something that came up. Remember, they played in the Nations Cup that happened in Glasgow. Yeah, no, that happened in England. They finished the third. A
In
very
England,
good,
yes.
yeah, a good show. We're surprised that these players have not gotten their money up to now. I mean, that tournament happened, I think, last year.
Uh, they had a meeting with the federation. They discussed about it, and the federation categorically said, "We are sorry, we haven't given you your money allowances, but the government hasn't released the money, and soon we are going to Scotland for another tournament.
In
But we are
Glasgow, yeah.
requesting once the money comes, we shall pay your money. But as of now, please, we are sorry for the inconveniences caused. They called for a meeting because they knew they are having a next tournament very soon. So what netball did, the federation did, was something we've been looking forward to see for a long time. Federations calling these players, telling them what's happening. Don't just keep quiet about something. At the end of the day, the players will be like, these guys have been eating our funds, whereby we know the government hasn't yet released money.
Mm. That is true. But the one thing I want to give credit to the Netball Federation. At the beginning of this season, I met actually the president, Madame Ochanda. I was trying to line up some business with her. Uh, but my discussion with her, she inherited an office with no funds. Remember now, by the Kitcho was pushed, and the federation was handed over to Nalweso, and they were waiting for a annual budget. They had to borrow money, really, the federation. And I give them credit up to now to really hold the league and have these tournaments still rolling. They did not really cancel any tournaments, but they inherited an office with no funds. ndowooza oli we baamugoba yagenda na 2-1. Even the social media handles, they had to change it all. So that tells you that tells you the state of sports in Uganda.
So federations are knocked out.
Yeah, the other old federation
Federation accounts zali za babiri.
account zaali za babiri ekityo ye yagenda nazo bano batandika buto na everything. So I give credit really to hold a federation with no funds, but you steadied it up. You ran the league. The league did not even have a sponsor really. That is really full credit to Madam Ochanda in her first year as the president. We give you credit on that. Then also I wanted to mention something on the World Athletic Championship that happened in Tokyo. I mean, for the first time, I think in years, we really washed our hands with no trophy. It has really showed us that the athletic program has really regressed. If you look at Kenya, they became second on the overall table standings. I mean,
Yeah.
overall table standings.
With 6 medals.
That means for us,
16
without
medals.
Cheptegei and Kiplimo, we don't have any chance. Maybe Peruth Cheptai also, but that one there, she collided with the blocks. But this was really a poor show from the Athletics Federation, and also the preparation. I mean, they had all this. They had the schedules already. They had some players are even sponsored, and are really funded very well. But we didn't make. We did not get any trophy. We did not get any medal, either bronze, and that was really a poor show. We really have to look at our program, the federation program, on that. Yeah. Then let me see.
We were so poor.
It was so poor, really.
We were totally poor.
Yeah. It's unexcusable. Yeah, it was totally poor. Yeah, so we move on. We'll talk about the NBL. We'll talk about basketball, the NBL playoffs. Let's start with UCU. UCU being swept. UCU is a team that you really raised concerns even in their quarterfinal show up. But was this really a surprise for Blazers sweeping them?
No, I wasn't surprised because the team was stronger than UCU in every category. And now on top of that, of course, we had some injury. Our captain, Luavaga Ivan the Blisk, got injured and he was on clutches as well in game 1, game 3. And the boys tried to have a good fight in game 3 because we went for overtime against the Blazers. But still, it did help us. And the Blazers brought in the maturity and the experience in that game and won the game 85-76. Because we only scored 3 points in the 5 minutes of the overtime and Blazers scored 12 points. So we struggled a little bit in the turnovers and also executing so well because we had 28 turnovers in that game and Blazers had only 16 turnovers in that game. So we had a lot of turnovers in that game. At the end of the day, the experience won the game because the likes of Makiadi, the Blazers scored. Everyone, I think, was just enjoying that day because everyone had some good points. Makiadi had 13, Peter Bling had 13, Jimmy Anaba 13 points. Joel Okoti this time around, he had 6 points and he's their top scorer in the playoffs. But he had 6 points this time around. Arthur Wanyota had 11 points. So Obleng, Makiadi, Arthur Wanyota stepped up. They stepped up in this game and they won the game for Blazers. Yeah. When you look at UC, of course, Junior team had 17 points that game. Kaira, the usual suspect, had 14 points. But it was a good fight. It was a good fight from the UCU team. Making it the semifinals, it's a plus for us as a university, and hope next season we shall step up and we have a good fight. But for Blazers, sweeping UCU, it wasn't a shocker to us. We weren't surprised about that. That was expected. We thought they would win the